Hey ho, and what do you know, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another episode of This, That, and the Other. My name is the real _ Bryan TV. Next to me, as always, is Zach the Audio Maniac. And this is This, That, and the Other. And yes, we're back. Episode 112, brought to you by the Binge on this channel. You guys can find us. Yeah, I'm going to have to lean into this motherfucker. You guys can find us anywhere simply by searching Binge on this channel. In Google. Vederman says that in YouTube you can't find us, so search Google Binge on this on Google.
We're hard to find. That's what makes us so much more covetable, bro.
Very unique.
If we were easy to get, you wouldn't want us as bad.
Exactly. So as always, guys, thank you very much to the new listeners and the old.
Yes.
We are shooting out of the Will Martinez studio, but this right now is space.
Whoa.
And now it's a green screen.
Wow.
Hollywood magic. Wow. And now we're in Batman Rises. Wow. Gotham City.
Wow.
As always, give us a follow on Instagram by searching Binge on this channel, or you can follow a bunch of our other pages to check out the rest of the amazing stuff that we're doing. But I'll tell you what, let's get into this motherfucker, and let's start off with the good old classic rant corner. Hit me with the rant corner.
Baby boy, it's rant corner time. That's right. Ooh, we're all excited for the rants. What?
I think I added some new buttons of sounds in there didn't I?
He did add in some new. So we got some new sounds for you guys. Oh Jesus! I guess that one. I guess that one doesn't work.
Holy shit! What was that?
That was supposed to be the gopher.
Oh Jesus Christ!
Nope, no gopher sound.
Okay, well that's
I wonder
just...
if the air horn works. All right, we know the air horn works. The air horn works.
The air horn works,
but the
ladies
dramatic
and
gopher hates us and wants our ears to die.
And I'm gonna change that sound to nice.
I'm gonna change it to that.
Danny.
Oh, Dan.
Oh, Daniels.
Yeah, check on the last episode if you want to see what Danny's up to. Sad boy, but we love him.
Sad boy, but we love him. All right, let's get into it, man. What do you have on your rant corner, man?
For my rant.
What do you have rant-wise for the week?
Man, I gotta tell you, I'm hyped. I'm excited. I'm loosey-goosey. I'm feeling free. But a rant corner for me? No, like honestly, like if I'm stressing about anything, it's about like basic bullshit that's happening in my life. Shit like interpersonal shit between me and other people. It sucks. Like, it's hard being like a full-grown working person. It sucks. And you know, like
that's a rant. You can rant about that.
I mean, you know, it's like, you know, I don't want to go into like too many specifics, but you know, like I just want everyone to know if you've ever had some shit with like people you thought were friends, people you thought you trusted, you know, shit happens, you know, don't get too hung up on like if you thought someone was like your coolest friend and like shit goes sideways and you're all butthurt because like you're not friends with them anymore. Shit happens. People come and go. You know, like, it sucks, but you'll find more people who aren't actually looking out for you than are. So you gotta, like, make sure you know who's got your back no matter what, I guess. Yeah, you know, I'm just dealing with dumb life shit. Good old.
But that's the point of the rant corner. You're allowed to talk about stuff like that. You know what I mean?
You know us Jews. My grandmammy said, you know, keep your shit to yourself. Nobody wants to hear that.
No, that's what the whole thing is for This, That, and the Other, so that you can actually.
But the thing is, I also don't want to like go into too many details.
Okay, all right. Well, how about you use a different word for everybody? Like maybe you let's maybe create like a scenario that is a direct parallel or allegory to the thing. I'm gonna turn the music down.
I don't know that it needs to go all the way down. You know,
Like, all right, it's like going to your favorite McDonald's and then...
It's like going to your favorite McDonald's, right? You get the same thing every time, and then you go and they're like, nah, bruh, you can't have that order because Jeff in the back keeps fucking it.
Okay,
I
right.
don't know. That's what my brain said to say.
Okay. Well, here's a good ending to that rant. Do you feel like, you know, at the end of this process, in the middle of this process, this example that you've told people,
it's still like the middle, I guess. But
the middle.
Have finished the. I'm sorry for interrupting.
No, you're good. I was just asking.
No. What was the rest of the question?
Oh, do you think it's like in the beginning, in the middle, or do you think you're close to the end of this?
No, I'm not anywhere near the end of this. I don't think I'm anywhere near the end of this. I think I'm definitely just still stuck in the middle of it, which is at least more comforting than being in the beginning of it.
Yeah.
But
what have you learned so far? Other than the beginning statement, which was a bit of a rap/poetry intro.
Yeah, I mean, it's just...
I guess, what have you learned? Let's say there's a bunch of Indian kids that are listening to us right now, and they're just trying to learn how to, you know, maybe little. Here, I got you. I'll set you up a scenario. Turn me up.
Little Taji.
Yeah, I got you. All right, here we go. All right, so what if like Lil Taji, he's just chilling on the corner selling hella Indian dope, and he gets into it with his homies, right? And his homies are like, yo, you're a loser. We heard you like to eat shit. And, you know, Lil Taj is like, I don't eat shit. Y'all know me. Like, we're homies, bro. We be running this Taj Mahal blocks. Nah, you eat shit, homie. You eat shit. But nobody has any proof, right? And everybody's like, yo, this fool be eating shit, bro. We know he eats shit. But these were your homies, right? It's like, damn, bro. Y'all think I eat shit? Like, y'all really think I got the type of face to eat shit? You know what I mean? So what would you tell Lil Taj?
Don't stress. There are people who know the truth.
Yeah, you don't eat shit.
There are people who know the truth.
Yeah. And it's important to stick to your guns when it comes to stuff like that. And to respond properly about eating shit. You know what I mean? Because it's also like, you know, one person says you eat shit, that's better than 10 people. But once 10 people start saying you eat shit, then all hell breaks loose.
So you also got to get on top of your shit.
You should go knock him out, Lil Taj.
You should go knock a motherfucker out for me.
Go round up a bunch of those homeless dogs y'all got in India and just fucking
sick them on him.
Sick them on your gang, dude, and then start running drugs with your gang, your dog gang.
Yeah, once you've got the dogs handled, you're good
Sew
to go.
cocaine sacks into your dogs' bellies and then send them off.
Make sure they're timed to burst, so those cocaine really comes in handy and fuels them for the extra, like, they got to get in a motherfucker,
But also fuck everybody who thinks that Taj eats shit. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, if you know Taj don't eat no shit.
Yeah, bro.
He ain't got shit on his mouth. He ain't got shit in his teeth. He's, like, just a guy.
He's just a dude, man.
You know what I mean? Just a guy who decided, you know what I mean? Like, this is my life, and I'll go. All right, here we go. Okay, this bleeds perfectly into my rant, okay? Like, that's perfect. That's perfect. So, all right. So, I don't know if, well, I don't know, because that one was a bit more of like an actual discussion. Okay, so hold on. Here's my rant. No, what I was about to talk into was more of like the actual subject of today's podcast.
Okay.
But as far as rants are concerned, I'm just bummed. I'm tired. I'm so exhausted. I'm so exhausted of the rampant disregard of violence and, you know, I don't know, a fancier woke way of saying this, but I'm tired of fucking homeless people having a run of the fucking city. Like, I'm tired of it. This is not fucking Mad Max. This is not Judge Dredd. Like, we have not at all evolved to a point where we should be just doing the type of shit that these people do and letting them get away with it, man. Like, blatantly letting them get away with it. The other day, I was out eating. And I was in my car eating because I wanted to chill in the car and just, like, you know, eat in the car. It was hot. I didn't want to stand outside. And I saw a woman come outside and she was eating her meal on the fucking table. This stupid woman. And this woman comes out, right? No gun, no sword, no shield, no breastplate, no armor, no black belt, nothing. She wasn't she wasn't in Krav Maga. She didn't she wasn't bulked up either. She was tiny. She could have little woman, right?
Little woman.
Jane Austen, Little Woman, Lemonade, Part 2, Beyonce.
Right,
he came here and she was sitting there eating her fucking meal, and out of the fucking blue, this fucking homeless motherfucker walks by, and he's walking past her, and he reaches down and he grabs her fucking plate. He grabs her fucking plate and he takes the plate of food and starts walking away with the fucking food in broad fucking daylight at 1 in the fucking afternoon, dude, in front of God and everyone. There was and Buddha and the rest of these motherfuckers and Yahweh and the rest of everybody. He grabbed that lady's fucking food, right?
Yeah.
And look, if this fucking subject makes me a misogynist, fine. I don't give a fuck, dog. We have 100 episodes of me being a misogynist. Like, it happens, dog. I don't care. But, and the next sentence that I say, I want to I want to preface that before I say that.
13% of our women viewers.
But nobody did anything. Nobody did anything. The men inside of the Lemonade restaurant didn't come out. The women in the area didn't come out and do anything. Nobody did a single thing. And this guy was yelling at this woman. This woman grabbed the plate and was like, no, what are you doing? Please stop. And this guy was yanking the fucking plate out of her hand and was like, fuck you, I'm hungry. He kept yelling at her. I'm fucking hungry. He kept yelling at her. And I was like, oh my God, this is insane. I was like, this is insane. And I don't know what took me so long to get out of the car. And when I got out afterwards and I talked to the lady, or pardon me, let me do this right. I don't know why it took me so long to get out of the car, but by the time I got out of the car, the guy was already walking away with the food. And walking away from the woman. So let's say the woman was sitting, and then the guy grabbed her food as he was walking south on the street. Well, I'll try and put a Google map up here so you can see where it was. And as he's walking past her, and he's trying to walk past me, and I've had enough, dude. I'm tired of the city, bro. I'm tired of the fucking smell. I look down at the city, and they beg for me to save them, and all I say back is, "Fuck you, city.
Thank you, Rorschach.
Suck on my nuts, dog. I don't give a fuck." But at this point, man, I just, something overcame me, man. There was this animalistic caveman part of my brain that made me get out of my car, and I slammed the door so fucking hard, and I put my finger up to that motherfucker, and I said, "You're not going anywhere, motherfucker." And he was like, "Get out of my way." And I grabbed one of the tables, and I flung it, slid it right over in front of him. And I was like, "You're not fucking going anywhere, brother." I was like, you're coming right here, dude. I was like, I was so ready. Any excuse for me to smash that dude's face into the fucking window. And he turned around and hightailed it. This was a dude in no shoes. This was a dude wearing 3 shirts, 4 pants, and 2 hats. And he turned around and hightailed it with the food. Crossed the busy street intersection, almost got hit, ran past the fucking Santa Monica cops, and just kept going. And that was that. And I went back to the lady, and I was like, "Hey, are you okay? Like, what happened? Like, I'm so sorry that I didn't get out of the car in enough time. Like, I should have gotten out sooner. I should have done all this." And the lady was like, "Well, I didn't want to cause any commotion, so..." Yo, that's the lives we live in, bro. Y'all got families. Y'all got daughters and sisters that you may or may not know of, wives in different states and shit. And these bitches just be sitting there quiet with their fucking mouths shut on some, I don't want to cause no trouble. I don't want to cause no fucking chaos, dog. That was her mindset at that fucking moment. The city had beat it into this woman. The world had beat it into this woman, dog. Just shut your fucking mouth and let homeless people steal your fucking food because you might get murdered and you might get beat the fuck up and the cops aren't going to do anything about it. And you could see it as this woman was saying this fucking shit, how broken she was, how fucking destroyed she was that she lived in a fucking city where this type of shit happened, dog. And it broke my fucking heart, man. And it was like, why? If I had stopped that man and I had curb stomped him and I'd broken every single fucking finger on his hand so that he learned not to fucking do that shit again on some Maharaja fucking code shit, an eye for an eye, on some fucking learn your lesson, you fucking piece of shit pig. like I would have gone to jail. I would have been fucked over. I would have been getting picked up from Santa Monica, police department, getting arraigned out in fucking the Twin Towers just so I could get a second charge on my fucking. Why? Because I wanted to do the right fucking thing. Because half of everybody else that was there at the fucking restaurant just sat there and let that fucking shit happen. And it just hit a point for me where I was just so. I wasn't defeated, but there was kind of like the city's forcing me to become an animal, dog, and I don't want to be an animal anymore. I'm tired of being an animal. Like, I don't want to be aggressive and angry. Like, I don't want to have to beat the shit out of people to get my message across. Like, I don't want to have to resort to violence. Like, I don't want that part of my spirit to be open again so that the universe can just flood it with evil again. Like, I don't want to do that, but the city constantly keeps pushing me to this shit. All these fucking dirty homeless fucking people and all this fucking horrible shit that keeps fucking happening everywhere. And it keeps pushing me into a fucking corner that I don't want to be in. And it frustrates the shit out of me. And so that's the problem with rant corners, man. It's like sometimes we just gotta rant about it, and there's no answer. There's no answer for little Taj getting his face look like he eats shit, and there's no answer to, to what you're feeling right now, and there's no answer to what that young lady's gonna feel. There's nothing, and it infuriates me sometimes that I hit a rant that makes me feel like I can't do anything because there's nothing we can do, and it's. And it makes me feel a little better kind of talking about it, but it still leaves a little hole in me where it's like, well, what do you do? Do we start going to Santa Monica and wearing masks? And do we start running our own shit? Are we the fucking Hell's Angels or whatever it is? The people who put on red berets back in the day? Do I have to resort to a Clockwork Orange scenario where I drink milk and break vases and rape women?
I don't know about all that. Yeah, I don't know about that last bit.
I don't know.
But I mean, it does bring up the good question, if here's the thing, cuz the cops in Santa Monica especially don't do shit. All they do is every now and then they'll clear motherfuckers out, but that's not the same thing as actually helping people who need help, But the other problem is for all the motherfuckers who are on the street and need help and then actually go out and seek it, there's those who like being on the street because they can do whatever they want, essentially.
I guess I'm not worried.
Or they're addicted to whatever kind of drugs, or they have nowhere else to go.
I think at the end of the day, it's I just want permission to beat people up. And that's the part of it that makes me scared, because it's kind of if I had the green light, I would go out and just beat holy hell for the rest of my life.
I don't think that's the answer.
Isn't that what you do to someone who isn't that what you do to people who push fear and know that they can get away with shit? Even if they are sick, even if there is okay, here's the thing.
Batman logic.
That dude wasn't sick. I don't care what, there was no sickness in him. There was this energy that this dude was carrying that said, I can get away with anything. And it was that type of chaotic energy. It was that energy of a man who knew he wasn't going to get in trouble from stealing this lady's food. And I would have reacted the same way if it were a man. You know what I mean? I would have reacted in the exact same way. I would have still gotten out of the car. I would have still seeked justice. I would have done all that. So again, that's not the misogynistic part that I'm pointing out. The misogynistic part in me was my first instinct was where are all the men? Where the fuck are the rest of the men? What are we doing here? We're just letting I felt like a pioneer. I felt like some fucking bandit came into our fucking town and just, socked a woman and stole her I was just holding my hand up and socked a woman and where's the sheriff? Where is this? If the city's turning into an old school Western, then fine. I will start living that role, but you can't I don't know. It just, anyways, to end my rant.
That's the problem, is it's not actually becoming an old school Western. It's just, because there will be consequences if you seek action. You know what I mean? There is no right answer, because the right answers aren't working, because no one's actually enforcing anything. You said, he ran past the cops. Cops they didn't do nothing. They don't care. I don't know. It feels like they don't care. They don't really care. They got bigger fish to fry. I remember Fucking Handren has like a similar story where his bike got jacked and then he saw it a week later and chased down the dude and tried to like have a cop keep him safe from the crazy homeless guy, and the cop was like, this is between y'all.
Yeah.
Like I'm not figuring this out for you guys.
I mean, I have that joke about looking homeless so I can fight homeless people. And it's not even a joke. It's like
they're more likely to leave you alone, you know, because they could arrest a homeless person, but they'll just have to like kick them out after a couple of days because they have nowhere else to go or nothing to do or blah blah blah.
Yeah, they'll let them go the next fuck on OR. You know what I mean? Which isn't like a problem, but it is. I think it's a problem if these people have been in these areas doing this time and time again. Like they're constantly there, and they're constantly problems.
They can't go anywhere. Well, they could go somewhere else. They could hop on a bus for 2 hours and be in a different part of town, but it's like,
I mean, I don't know.
Most homeless roam like a certain area, like territory almost, but it's like,
yeah, it's pretty stupid.
It's just where they live, essentially. They just live on the street in a certain part of town.
So basically what I'm saying is, I guess if you as a person see injustice or you see something that's not right, I'm not telling you to run into a shootout in the middle of a grocery store with an active shooter, and I'm not telling you to put your life on the line. Like what I did was stupid, right? Like I could have compromised my dog, my old lady, that lady's safety. You know, that dude could have turned right around and just socked that woman in the face. Like I don't know what that dude's capable of. Like he could have had a knife. Like
had a gun.
I mean, I've broken so many bones from fighting homeless people.
Could have had a piece of 2x4.
He could have just had anything on him, and I could be on the other end of, you know, something horrible happening. So He could have picked up a chair and thrown it. Yeah, like a rant's a rant, man. Like I'm just here to tell you guys how I feel about a specific thing. But I want you guys to be safe, but I also want you guys to just like get a good understanding of your moral compass, you know, and like that's what today's subject is. You know, we're gonna talk a little bit about morality and our moral compass and like things that, you know, pertain to making decisions that a person may think is good or bad, you know, and maybe another person may not. So would you consider yourself a moral man? You know, would you consider yourself a man of high morals? I'd say so. I'd say as someone who knows you, I'd say that you have a very good moral code.
Yeah, I definitely strongly believe in what I believe and what's right and what's wrong.
How do you feel about like, you know, along with morality comes the opposite, which is someone who has no morals, you know, or theoretically in your eyes, where it's like that guy's moral code doesn't line up with mine. Do you feel that you have a sense of damnation, like towards people who may not practice good moral standards? Do you feel like I want that person to get his comeuppance? Or how do you feel about people who may not follow your own moral code?
You know, morals aside, you know, because we can all believe our own truths and what we believe is right. And, you know, everyone's, you know, there's like, I believe in karma and, you know, what comes around goes around. If you're a piece of shit to somebody, it'll come back to you. It should, at least, hopefully, if there is justice in the universe. But, you know, sometimes the bad guy wins, as gross as that sounds. It's a tricky thing, you know, because, like...
Do you have any moral questioning events that you've personally gone through in your life? Well, I'm sure that you okay, maybe this is, let me give you a little bit more detailed of a question. Is there a situation morally that you've seen but not necessarily been the main focal point of?
I can straight up, I remember, like, when I was a kid, I definitely lied all the time about everything. Doesn't even matter what it was about. I usually just lied about everything. Like, even if it made no sense and had no real purpose to be lied about. Like, one time my mom was late picking me up from summer camp. And I think I lied to a friend. I was like, yeah, she's picking up my older brother from the airport. I don't have an older brother. I don't know where I got the confidence to be like, yeah, I have some unknown older brother that my mother is picking up from the airport. That's why she's late to get me, because I'm special. You know, even though I was like, that's probably bullshit. She's just like running late from work. Like it does, like, you know, like bullshit like that. I lied to my mom a lot, always, constantly. And then I don't know, there was a change when I was like 14, 15 or whatever, and I was like, I'm just getting myself into more issues lying than telling the truth. So like, at one point I was like, it's just way easier to just tell people straight up what's up, you know what I mean? Like, I won't hurt anyone's feelings with the truth, but I won't hide anything from anybody, you know what I mean? Like, if I thought if we were at a mic and I thought somebody did shit, I wouldn't like tell them. Like, I wouldn't be like, wow, that was absolute crap. You know, that's just being mean. You know, there's no benefit from that. If I had like actual constructive criticism, no, I would give it to him. That's the truth. You know what I mean? That's like the difference. You know?
I mean, I think that's a great response, you know, as far as like your own kind of like, because you know, I think everybody lies, you know, does little white lies at smaller points, you know. I mean, I used to steal, you know, when I was younger. You know, I was a little pickpocket. Like I like to, you know, sometimes I would go to summer camp for Boy Scouts, and I would rob the
other Boy Scouts?
No, never. I was never like that. I never robbed other people. I only robbed stores. So, you know, turn it up. We're morality rap. Sick morality rap. Sick morality rap. Sick morality rap. We never rob women. We never rob poor people. We might rob a cripple, but
just for his crutches.
Just for his crutches, because we're gonna bring him a wheelchair back. Because we only rob from Target, and we only rob from Walmart, and we only rob from only places and OnlyFans. But we never rob.
How do you rob from OnlyFans?
You take their pictures and you put them on 4chan. Maybe our morality is not that good. Maybe we don't have morals. Maybe we don't have morals.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, so I completely understand, you know, as far as like hitting a point as you mature to go, you know, the right and the wrongs, and you know.
I mean, you know, when everyone's growing up, you're still figuring out, you know, the lines and how to be a good, decent, actual fucking human.
So my next question:
people who never get it, and those who like do.
Do you have a friend that you may have known when you were younger, or somebody who now has done something colossally morally wrong, and you still maybe keep in contact with them? Or how would you feel about someone who... Okay, so here's the whole reason for today's discussion, right? We've talked about it before. I have, when Sam was here. Rest in peace. He's not dead. He's just resting in Phoenix. He's just resting in Phoenix. But I remember I used to talk to Sam about a friend of mine, and I use the word friend, and this is why this episode is happening today. You know, because I don't think I've talked to Vederman about this, and so I'd like to get his views on it. But my friend, when he was younger, let's call him Steve, you know, and Steve was the only other colored person in my town, which was full of white people. So it was me, Steve, and his special ed brother, Steve 2. Steve 2. So Steve, you know, is I'd say pretty average guy for being the only other brown or black person in an all-white town.
Okay.
He liked to dance. He was a church-going person. He was adopted. You know, so his whole family was a group of Christians who had adopted all these different children, you know. And
one's of them's families.
Yes. Okay. And so he was basically raised, you know, kind of white for the most part. And Mo was
Steve. His name was Steve.
I gotta beep that out. Steve. I've said Mo's. You know what? No. So Mo.
Abandon it halfway there.
I like Mo.
Mo and his younger brother Steve too.
I liked Mo. You know, I liked Mo. You know, I could sympathize with Mo because I was in the same place. You know, being the only other dark person in an all-white town.
Right.
But there was something with Mo that just seemed kind of like his brother, his genetic brother that was adopted with him, was on the spectrum. He had some type of mental disability.
Right.
And so nobody ever thought Moe did, because Moe was pretty smart, but this will come up later in the story. So we all turn 18, we graduate, and the smart people of us leave, you know. But Moe stays in our small little town, you know. He has nowhere else to go. He has nowhere else to go. He doesn't know the real world, so he stays with his family, and he becomes a dance instructor for a local dance studio. And, you know, everything's going great, you know, for Moe. I'd probably say 2010, 2014, somewhere in that grand area.
Right.
This news starts coming out that Moe had sexually molested one of his siblings. And it was something that had become a rumor that nobody really knew what was going on. And then finally, it came out in the open. You know, Moe had, you know, sexually molested one of the children, his sisters, or something that lived with him in the house. Moe. My friend Moe. Right? And again, I'm using these languages. Bear with me, guys. You have to bear with me while Vederman does this battery exchange rap. Hit him with the battery exchange rap.
Wow. Learned a lot. Battery change song. Learned a lot as he changes the battery pack. Oh my God, he's changing the pack. I can't believe. I'm still just trying to wrap my head around this story you're getting at. I'm not in a rap mood. I won't lie to you guys. I didn't expect him to hit me with the rap change right there in the middle of that story. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I mean, hey, who among us doesn't have a classic dance instructor molested his sibling story? You know what I mean? No, just okay. Anyways, that's yeah, I don't know, man. That's a tricky one. I want to hear the rest of the story, and thankfully, we got Bryan right back in the seat. So let's hear the rest of this fucking.
So at this point, and you know, keep in mind we're all gone, right? Picoson's basically been, you know, anyone from our graduating class is gone, and it's just Moe and maybe Jin and his brother Lin, who ran the Chinese restaurant with their parents. And we're good people.
Jin and Lin.
No, Moe was somebody different. But, okay, so anyways, I'm sorry. I'm coming back. So all of these allegations start coming out. And at first, you know, and I'll be open to admitting it, at first I was like, this doesn't sound right. Like, this kind of sounds like a crazy frame job. Like, this seems a little weird, you know. And back then, you know, obviously you're looking through that lens or whatever. It doesn't matter. I don't have to explain myself to you. You guys suck. You're from India. You're not listening.
We love you though.
But we do love you. So it starts coming out, and it's official. 100%. He's been arrested. He's been booked for child molestation, for sexual misconduct. The big issue here was they thought that he was doing the same thing to the girls at the dance academy where he was at. And so they do this huge, thorough investigation and everything. And he never did anything at the dance studio. Okay. He just, you know, at his house. Okay. Not that it makes it any better. I'm just clarifying these details for you guys.
I mean, it would have just been worse.
Now, again, I may have to.
The dance studio. It would have been like, damn. That many motherfuckers, and it took them how long?
So I may have to redact maybe some things, because maybe there was maybe one person at the dance studio, but I'm thinking 99% it was all at the house. Which meant
the clippings, right?
Yeah, where it says, well, actually, no, I don't want to turn it into that on him. Okay. I don't want to. Yeah. Okay. Anyways, so
back to the point, right?
So it becomes official, and everything starts happening, and his picture starts appearing, and all these things and everything, and it's there. There's no getting around it anymore. It's, you know, that's what it is. That's what he is now. He's a chomo. You know. And so we're all kind of, oh my God, that's crazy. That's crazy. And Drew, you've never met Drew, but a good friend of mine, Drew, we've known each other since we were 10. And so Drew was keeping me updated with the situation because he still lived in Picosa. So he was like, so this is happening. And did you know they're bringing him into court? And then he goes, the family knew about this apparently and had known for a few weeks about what was going on. And at one point all sat together down as a family to talk to Moe and confront him and then turn him into the cops. So all this more information is coming out. And then Drew tells me the story of a friend of his who was a friend of Moe's, way closer than Drew and I were to Moe, telling a story to us about how one time they were hanging out. He told us a story that one time when they were hanging out, Moe suggested, hey, do you want to see some pictures? And Trey was like, yeah, sure, some hot girls. And he was like, yeah. And he started whipping out these pictures of like 12, 14-year-old girls, And Trey's watching this, and Trey's kind of like, okay, well, this is a little weird. But he doesn't really say anything. I guess. I don't know. Again, we're going to have a discussion exactly about what's going on after this. And then we're almost there, people, so hang on for us.
Hang in tight.
So it happens. Moe's in jail. He's incarcerated at the Virginia State Penitentiary and has been since 2016. Now, every now and then, Moe's mother or adopted mother, or whatever it may be,
whoever raised him,
contacts people through his Facebook and updates everyone on what's going on with Moe there. There have been lots of, statuses that are like, you basically don't believe what you're reading in the headlines. It isn't, accurate of exactly what has happened. Yeah, and, all of this. And so over the past 4 or 5 years, just every now and then that page gets updated. And the reason why this came up for me recently is about a week ago on my Facebook, I see that Moe's page has been updated. And it's his mother saying, hey, Moe's being moved to a different jail.
Different prison or
this is his new information. Moe would love to speak with you guys. It keeps his spirits up. And it would be greatly appreciated, blah, 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 blah. So I read this, and I start having all these fucking thoughts, man. And I'm like, does it make me a bad person to continue a relationship with a known child molester? Like, where does that stand on my own moral compass? How do I process, not that I would go out of my way and go right to Moe, but what I was feeling in me there was this wave of emotions, every time I think about it, where it's like, it's partly like, that dude's a monster, like you should never, and then the other part of it is like, that's your buddy Moe, like you remember growing up with Moe, like you remember playing football with Moe, you remember being in chorus with Moe, you remember laughing and eating lunch with Moe, like you remember being friends with Moe, like, would believing that Moe isn't a bad person, would believing that a man like that could be forgiven, like does that make me stupid? Like does that, are my morals askew? Am I being blinded by something like that for a man that I really didn't know? I mean, I knew of, our graduating class was 200 people. You have to understand, we all grew up together from middle school to high school. I mean, Moe was my friend, and it sounds crazy to say, especially after the story that I just told you guys, but there's still a little, I don't know, like there's just still a little something in there that could we have done more? Like, if Trey had, and I'm not putting this on Trey, like,
it's funny because the way you're talking about it reminds me of
the Academy Award-winning film, Mr. Louis. I'm just kidding. I'm sorry. Yeah.
The graphic novel My Friend Dahmer. It's the dude who
that's one of the examples that I put out. Like that's one of the examples. How does like
anybody who knew like a serial killer, anybody who's done like whatever kind of awful things, like it's
and like
how do you
hold that person? Do you hold him? Do you can't hold that person accountable. Like you can't. There's no.
I mean, I don't know, man. Everyone is accountable.
Are you a bad?
Actions,
but are you
right?
a bad person for continuing maybe a relationship, or at least not damning a person 100%? Are you a hypocrite because you spent your whole life being like, fuck chomos, like, you know, fuck people who do horrible things like that, like, fuck that? Like, is my moral compass, are my ethics changing as I continue to get older? Like, was there a stable point in what's going on in that regard? Like, am I a bad person if I were to continue talking to a monster? Like, you know, what you know, my own morality defines me on that end. That's fine. I'm the burden of that. I understand that. So
kind of reminds me of when OJ got out and like nobody wanted to be friends with OJ anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, but like, technically
like,
the court said OJ didn't do it. So I mean, I'm
right.
You know, like
so many people.
I mean, I think it would be different if
he did it.
It'd be different if Moe got taken to trial and then wasn't charged. I think in my twisted mind, a part of me would be like,
he was acquitted, he's fine.
But I don't know.
He went to jail and was booked and committed.
I don't know. I mean, it's like
there's a lot of people who get falsely tried and go to jail.
Yeah,
for
part
shit
of me
too.
is kind of like,
there's a lot of people in jail right now who are in there not for
and
the
it's
right
like,
reasons, or they've been framed, or they've been set up, or
yeah,
they just didn't understand the court process right, or they
and
had
here's
a bad
my
lawyer or whatever the fuck, man. It happens to people, or they're in jail and they're innocent.
And here's my thinking, right? You know, and I was thinking about it the other day too, and this isn't to justify anything. This is just me talking through my brain.
Right.
And I was like, why did the family wait so long? Like, sure, maybe just to get ready and everything like that.
You would hope.
But why? Yeah, why did this? Why does it feel like they were trying to get their story straight? And why do I constantly flash back to Moe's brother and him being on the spectrum? And now that I'm an adult and I understand how, kind of understand how genetics work and
he's
like kind of things like,
maybe a little.
what if he was on the goddamn spectrum? What if nobody knew? What if nobody knew that he was on the fucking spectrum and that he was special? And what if there was something else happening to Moe that we didn't know about? Like, what if that house was a house of fucking horrors, man? Like, what if Moe was being sold up the river here because he was the only semi-sane black guy in that house? Like, you know, what if, I'm not...
There's a lot of questions.
What's going on right there?
Has limited space remaining.
How much time did I put on there? I'm going to delete some of these files.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have 15 minutes left.
Perfect. We're running all the way through.
Yes. Yeah,
hit me with your thoughts, big dog. Put yourself in my shoes, man.
It's a banana.
Put yourself in. Would you write to Moe?
I mean, I don't write to most people, so I doubt I would write to anyone who's in prison. I hate to say it like that. Like, I don't know. I'm not really a letter guy. It would depend on how good of a friend they are, you know? It sounds like, I don't know, it sounds like you came up with this dude, but like...
My loyalties seem to lie. They're skin deep, and that's a pun. I will own up to that punniness. Because I feel like my allegiance, not that there is an allegiance, but the sympathy that I feel towards this man, you know, the supposed monster, you know, who is a monster in the eyes of the law, you know, who is a child molester.
Well, yeah, for most people, not just the law, but...
Yeah, there is still this crazy...
He's still the dude that you grew up with.
Yeah.
Like, he's still in your memory,
he's
that kid
still
that
the
you played football with.
Yeah,
because you don't...
Do I erase that? Do I destroy...
You left, you know what I mean? Like, you don't know him as a man.
Destroy the last bit of that? Like,
well, you don't know him as a man. You know what I mean? Y'all graduated high school at 18, and then what? You said like 4 years later shit started coming out? Well, were you there? Were you living in that town?
No.
No. So, like, you know, who knows? Like, again, this is mostly secondhand information from you. So for me, this is third-hand information. So based off of like what I'm hearing, it's like it could be true. He could have, Well,
let's say pick a friend.
How old
pick
was
a childhood
the
friend
sibling that he
young.
And you also said that he was showing like somebody else like kid porn, or
like
hot
pictures of. He was like, "Do you want to see hot girls?" And then showed them 12 to 14
year olds. Yeah. Well, again, that's
don't all these
again, you know, I don't know. You know, I've never watched. Like,
take one of your
like,
childhood friends.
A pedophile, you know.
Take one of your childhood friends and put him in that scenario.
Okay, done. I've thought it out. And
what do you think?
I don't talk to him now. I wouldn't talk to him if he was a child molester. You know what I mean? That's the thing is, I don't talk to a lot of my childhood friends anymore. Like, even like some of the dudes I was closest to in high school, I don't really talk to that often. Like, I don't know. That's just not.
Do you have a sad boy rap about it?
That's not how I. No, that's who I am. You know, I'm not like a huge, I guess communicator is the right word. Unless I like see you on the reg, like I don't have any reason to talk to people. Like, I don't know. You know what I mean? I feel like it's also like my own personal ingrained like whack trauma. Like, I feel like I got butthurt a little too much as a kid. I have too many memories of trying to call and hang out with friends and like not ever hanging out with those friends. Like, either people were always busy or whatever the fuck it was, but I always took it too much to heart. And it's like they just don't want to hang out with me. My mom once told me in my older age that dead ass one of my friends when I was like kindergarten, first grade, I stopped hanging out with him because his mother told my mom that she didn't want us to play anymore because she thought I was a little too much. Because I was a lot as a kid. I was a lot of a kid. So like, you know, I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like I was the kid most parents are like, you don't need to hang out with that kid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So you're saying you would have been the Moe. Not in the sense
not
of
in the
like
way that I'm
like the way Moe is, but
like
your position in your
my position is I'm one of the 200 other kids you graduated with that you have no idea what their name is anymore.
Yeah, well, no, I mean, we knew, that's what I'm saying. Like, we grew up with everyone. I mean, it was the tiniest town in the world. Like, and
There's got to be one kid that you've definitely forgotten. There has to be. Out of 200
out of my graduating class?
Yeah. There's got to be one motherfucker that you never
talked to. I can remember most people.
Never hung out with. No,
never. That we knew everyone. Everyone knew everyone. Everybody knew everybody. Okay. Like, the only people who showed up are transfer students. Because remember, Jesus. Remember. You gotta remember. Turn me up. This is my Remember song. Hey, I know you're trying to remember right now. I know you're flying through the space in your mind. Hey, Steve. Hey, Linda. Hey, Joe. Hey, Bob, I know you. I'll see you tomorrow. Hey, Sarah. Hey, Lisa. Hey, Mike. And hey, Joe. And one day we'll get together again. Whoa. Can't forget about Charles. Can't forget about Drew or Tiffany. Can't forget about the other Drew. Can't forget about Brittany. I can't forget about Steve. And I can't forget about Moe. No. That one was kinda sad. Do you take on people who are bad? Do you forget them? Do you judge someone without really knowing them as a man? Do you just brush away all of the memories when they were young and they weren't gay yet? Do you brush it away? Hey, Linda. Hey, Joe. Hey, Steve. And hey, Mary Elizabeth. And hey, you. That one person at Vederman said, I forgot. This song's for you. This song's for you. I remember you. Oh, yeah. You were there. You were there. Next to the lunch table. With your hair. And you had teeth. And you had eyes. And there's a big chance that you had all 10 toes and fingers. And you probably went to school And you probably went home after school. You might have had a dog or a cat, or maybe no pets in your apartment. You might have a house. Your parents might be alive. But I want you to know when you hear this podcast that I'm thinking of you. Hey, Steve. Hey, Linda. Hey, Joe. Hey, Mikey. Hey, Perry. Hey, Zach. Now we're going into names that I know. 'Cause maybe you're right. Maybe I can't list off everyone I went to school with.
No, you definitely can't.
But I know Joe, and I know Steve, and I know Mike, and I know Billy, and I know Joe, and I know Steve, and I know Susie, and I know Lindsay, and I know Mr. Bowers, and I know Renee, and I also know Beverly, and I know Ben, and I know Steve, and I know Drew.
You said Steve
and I know
like
Jimmy. There was like 20 Steves. There was like 20 Steves in my school.
How do you keep that many Steves
This one goes
straight?
out for you. This one goes out to Steve M and Steve P and Steve S.
You're fucking
And
it
this
up.
one goes out to Mandy. Hey, Mandy. And this one goes out to Heather. Hey, Heather. But mostly this one goes out to all the people I can't remember.
Oh, yeah.
I hope you hear this while you're driving.
Oh, in your car you're riding.
But what were we talking about? Oh, okay.
Nothing. We were talking about nothing.
No, wait.
We were talking about nothing.
Okay, so before we close that segment, as we close that segment, the final piece that I'd like to say in that regard, I don't have an answer.
There is no right
I
answer.
wish
it's
I
it's an
had-
extreme moral dilemma, man.
I wish I had a satisfying conclusion to this story, and maybe
How
I'll
long
figure
is he,
something out.
how
He's
long
in
is he
there for
in?
a minute, dog. Probably 10, 15 years.
Mm.
He's not coming out, like,
Mm.
which is probably a good thing.
I mean,
I don't
it sounds like the only child he was molesting was his sister. So
Never thought those words would be coming out of my mouth. So maybe.
I mean, as long as we keep him
Look,
away from her,
we don't condemn.
we might be fine.
We condemn everything about it. It's a bad situation.
it's
It's
not-
not cool.
There's nothing good about it.
Nothing
in
good
the
about it at
slightest,
all.
But
I guess if there's any little bit of advice that I could say in that regard is talk to someone. I'm not saying this is a suicidal
definitely
thing.
won't be seeing him at the 10-year reunion.
You won't be seeing them in No Year Reunions. That's true. Sorry, Mo. We'll digitally blackface you in. I'll blackface as you. But I don't know, man. Right? Like, I don't want to.
just sneak him an iPad into the jail he's in and just
So he can listen?
wear him around. No, like have him
Oh,
FaceTime
on it,
in
yeah.
on your chest. Yeah.
I don't
and then
know.
you're the guy who brought the child molester to the 10-year reunion. Then you've got the moral high ground around everybody. Did Jesus not befriend the?
I don't know.
He who was out without sin cast the first stone.
I don't know. I
don't know if Jesus applied that to child molesters.
I think at the end of the day, it's like Vederman says, it's a tough moral situation. You know, and when you do find yourselves in these situations, man, talk to somebody. You know, this isn't a big situation, but
Bro, if you want to molest kids, talk to a therapist. Immediately.
I guess, man. Yeah, bro. We're not supporting you. We're doing nothing, bro. But I mean, if y'all hear about things, if y'all see injustice, man, like if y'all in any shape, way, or form, man, you know, it's like the old poop paradox where you see someone's dog take a poop, but they don't clean it. It's like, what do you do? Do you get out? Do you say
tell
something?
Them to clean up their dog shit?
I don't know,
or do you
man.
Let it ride.
We're
man?
not here to tell you fucking jack shit about your morals, bro. We're just here to tell you about our morals, man, and the way we think we might handle something like that. So it's like,
I mean, if it's something like that, I know personally, I just kind of keep walking. I'm like,
I don't know, man. Do we keep walking by the most situations in our lives? Like,
Hopefully
I don't know.
not.
What do we do? Like, what do we do?
Hopefully
Do we
not.
laugh at Taj? Do we condemn Taj for fucking being a shit eater? Do we just throw the first stone and go, hey, everyone says Taj is a fucking shit eater. Well, I may as well just fucking look. Follow your heart, man. We've been telling y'all that since the beginning. And if you don't understand what your heart's telling you, bro, talk to somebody, man. Write into Binge on this channel.
Yeah,
at
hit us
gmail.com.
up. We'll talk to you.
We'll
if we don't know what to do
man.
with you, bro, we'll
figure it out,
we'll
bro.
We'll call in my therapist.
Yeah.
I'll be like, hey, Greg.
We'll
help
zoom in
me
Greg
and Taji from India out.
Yeah, man. But
he's
just,
a good guy.
I don't know. And don't think that you're a bad person if you're questioning your morality. I think people kind of get confused.
Everybody has moral dilemmas in their life.
Don't get confused.
This is not an easy life that we live.
It happens.
There are no easy answers.
Just talk to people, man. Talk to people. There are plenty of people who are willing to talk to you, man. And just know that at the end of the day, bro, like this isn't, a situation like this. It ain't your problem. But in situations that you may be involved with, man, it's like at the end of the day, you're gonna be the only person you look at in the mirror, bro. So it's like, fuck what everyone else thinks. Fuck whatever you're going down. You know you're not a shit eater. You know your morals. You know you're a good person. You know you don't want people to get hurt. You know you just want people to do the right thing. And like go home and feed their families and just be okay. And so
live their lives peacefully to the end of it.
I don't know. Just be good people. So Vederman, what do you got, man? Anything that they should keep an eye out for?
Man, keep an eye on the Instagrams. Keep an eye on the Binge on this channel website. We got our Gauntlet comedy Instagram. Keep an eye on that for anything fun we got going on here in LA.
Yes, sir.
I do all kinds of crazy DJing and comedy, so I post on my Instagram at Comedy Hazard about that kind of stuff if you want to keep an eye on it.
Yeah.
And that's about I got going on for me right now. What about you, Brian? What you got for the people for this last little wrap
if you're
up?
in Los Angeles, California, Wednesdays and Fridays we have mics, so you guys can check us out at the Gauntlet comedy page on Instagram. As always, we'd like to thank Will Martinez for allowing us to use this area, this studio as we call it. Clap, clap, clap. Check out Will's podcast.
Yes, sir.
What's the name of it?
Comedians and Convicts.
Comedians and Convicts, man, where they get some of the hottest Los Angeles comics and they sit down with some of those same comics because they are also convicts. And so it's a beautiful self-serving cycle, dog.
It's a wonderful little back.
So keep an eye out for that.
They always have guests calling in and talking.
Wonderful.
You could be one of
You could be one of those guests. So Comedians and Convicts, guys, check it out. Should be available on iTunes pretty soon. But other than that, guys, just, keep following us. Please subscribe to us. Check us out on Instagram. You can find all of the podcasts simply by searching This, That, and the Other on anywhere you find podcasts. CastBox, Spotify, iTunes Podcast, all Stitcher, Jihad Vahan, Jazoon, whatever the fuck it is that you get your podcast from. Yes, you can find us there, and you can see the rest of our amazing shows. Happy News with Perry Kurtz. You can see Caldo de Risa. You can see Roll 420s. You can listen to all this wonderful shit on your way home. And, of course, shout out to Mr. and Mrs. Vederman. We love yo very much for watching, man. Shout out to fucking the Archillas out in Florida, by La Raza way. Shout out to, of course, ladies and gentlemen, give it up for my man to the right of me, Zach, the audio maniac, Vederman, the angel, the devil, the man who couldn't be done with. Shout out to Sam.
And make some noise for Brian.
Rest in peace.
Rest in Phoenix.
Rest in Phoenix. And, of course, guys, my name is Bryan TV. And remember, as always, to love each other. Stay safe and dream the dream of 1,000 dreams.
That's right. Keep it funky, keep it cool, smoke some weed.
Yo, secret bonus rap. Secret bonus rap. Secret bonus rap. Only 2 minutes on the track. This is a secret rap. It's something that I never talked about. I murdered 10 people when I was 6 years old. I crimed inside their house and I opened up their pudding and I splashed it on my face and I called myself the Pudding Man. And then I went inside the first kid's house and I took his face and I put it on top of my Furby. And then I walked away and the second kid, I tied his